Hi, and welcome back to Perpetual Fitness Training. I have a great workout routine for you today. We're going to be lifting some weights and we're going to slow it way down. There's a lot of benefits to taking that work and making it a lot slower. You're getting rid of all the momentum and you're really focusing on that muscle. This is a bit harder, so you may want to lift slightly lighter than you usually do. We will be using a variety of weights. So you know your range. You want some leg weights, you want some upper body weights, and then just go slightly lighter as well if you have that ability. We're also using a bench or something that you can lay back on. Some of this you can do on the floor as well, so I'll walk you through those modifications. The other thing I'm using today is my little ball. I call it my little ball because you have that big exercise ball and then we have this little ball. This happens to be a bar 3 ball. I really like it because I think it grips just right, but it's soft enough. If you don't have this, I have clients that use playground balls, Pilates balls, any kind of little ball. I even have one that uses a little tiny soccer ball. Anything works fine. We're actually going to use this with the ball and then also behind our back for some ab exercises. If you would like to buy this particular ball, I believe they're $15 last time I bought them. It's from Bar 3, B-A-R-R-E, like the exercise, and then the number 3. And you can Google it. You can even find them on Amazon. Well, you used to be able to find them on Amazon. I bought this quite a while ago, so I'm not really sure if you can do that still. But easy to find. Just Google it. Do a search for Bar 3 balls. If you want this particular one, it's about a 10-inch ball. All right, let's go ahead and get started and grab all that stuff. I will stop talking and we'll get going. All right, welcome back. We're going to jump right into it. So grab your ball, grab some weights. There is no warm-up. It's very important that you are warmed up before you begin this routine. I just taped a cardio session, so I'm good and warm. My face is probably still red and sweaty. I've had quite a few takes. I keep stumbling over my words, so I might be cool by now. Not really sure. But let's go ahead and get going. Grab your leg weights. Grab your little ball. I'm going to start this timer. We're going to put the ball on our back. So just like we do with the big ball, but we're going to use that little one. Get those feet planted. 3 counts down. Tummy tight. Tuck that tailbone slightly. 3 pulses. Squeeze back up. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Press. Belly tight. Keep that neck in line. I don't want you looking at your feet. 1, 2, 3. 3 pulse. 1, 2, 3. Squeeze. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Make sure you're breathing. You should be feeling those muscles. Keep it nice and slow. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Pulse, pulse, pulse. A little break. Shake it out if you like. Readjust your ball if you need to. Your feet should be out in front of you so that when you squat down, your knees stay behind your toes. 1, 2, 3. Don't let that tailbone go toward the wall. I want you to let that tailbone drop down toward the floor. Oh, goodness. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I don't think I have enough fuel in my body. My brain's not working. I haven't been feeling very well today, so I haven't really been eating. So I'm sure I'm lacking a little carbohydrate. So hopefully this isn't a whole session of me just tripping over my words. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Tailbone points to the floor. It's just a little bit of a tuck. And that just prevents you from rounding in that low back and pushing that low back into the wall, which will bother your low back. Shake it out if you need to. And give it just a little zhuzh. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Pulse. We're only having these 10-second breaks, so we're really working into that muscle tissue, really trying to fatigue it. That's how you build it stronger. Right? What doesn't kill us makes us stronger. It's very true in weightlifting. Slow. 1, 2, 3. Pulse. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, you should really be feeling that burn. If not, consider grabbing heavier weights next time, or maybe even doing one more. Pausing it, rewinding it, going back, and done. All right, shake that puppy out. The ball you can just set to the side. Nice flat back. Water if you need it. We are actually going to go to the bench. We're going to lay down on the bench face up. We're moving into a lat pullover. This is a lat exercise. So it's a big muscle, so maybe a heavier weight. You are free to use 2 little weights. That's fine as well. You need to make sure that the low back stays into the bench. You can do this on the floor as well, especially if you're having a hard time, like if your feet don't fit on your bench and they fall off, that tends to kind of round that low back. And I want you to pull your belly in and push the low back into the floor or to the bench. If you're doing it over the floor, you're not going to have the same range of motion. It will be easier. You're not going to get as deep into that muscle, but that might be a great modifier if doing it on the bench is too much either for your shoulders because of a lack of range of motion or from a strength standpoint. So there's a modifier for you. You can do it on the floor. All right, here we go. Head near the edge. You're going to grab the shaft. You're going to take it down. 1, 2, 3, pulse. 1, 2, 3, shoulder blades down. Come back up, straight above the heart. 3, pulse. 1, 2, 3, and then come up. I want you to use that range of motion. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Big exhale. And be aware your lat, latissimus dorsi, it's in your back. 1, 2, 3. So I want you to think about this muscle right here as you bring it back to center. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. There are other muscles that are being worked as secondaries. 2, 3. But it is a lat move, so don't let anybody tell you any different. Make sure there's space between your chin and chest, that you're not looking up and back, right? An apple or an orange. 1, 2, 3. Pulse. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Pulse. 1, 2, 3. Give me what you can do. Maybe you decided your weight was too heavy and you've lightened up. Oh, I think I only pulsed twice. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and then come on up. My low back is into that bench. Using my breath. Belly tight. Take your time. Take a little break. Shoulders relax. Maybe you need to take your arms down. All right, here we go. Bring that weight back up. 1, 2, 3. Pulse. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Low back down. 1, 2, 3. Good. Take your time. We're not trying to rush this one. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Keep breathing. Hopefully you have some good music to listen to. I did a spin routine the other day, big exhale, to Bon Jovi. It was actually awesome. I forgot how much I miss their music from the 80s. So it was a very nostalgic ride. That was a lot of fun. And take it up. So whatever music inspires you, whatever you love to listen to, turn it up loud. All right, next up we have some ear crushers. We're going to be back onto the bench in the exact same position, but your weight needs to change. So I want you to grab some lighter weight. All right, so we're going to take these weights and we're just going to slowly come down on either side of the ear. All right, that's why I call them ear crushers. The palms are facing the ears. You're going to do 3 little pulses and then come back up in 1. So a skull crusher is the same move, but the back of your hand is coming towards your forehead. We've changed it slightly for a different grip and having them come down by your ears, all right? This is a tricep move. So anybody that talks about how they hate their wings, this is a move that helps to strengthen that muscle, tone it up. All right, let's go ahead and take it down. Tummy's tight, same rules apply, low back down. All right, elbows stay up. 1, 2, 3, little pulse. 1, 2, 3, big exhale. Nice and controlled. Focus on the count. How's your tummy? Is it tight? Is your low back into the bench or the floor? These are Totally interchangeable to do them on the floor. You don't have to have a bench. This shouldn't affect, the floor shouldn't affect much at all with this move. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right, you should be feeling those triceps. Big exhale. Did I turn on my timer? Felt like forever. And I'll take a break. That might be an indicator that my weight's a little heavy. I may be going lighter by that third round. All right, here we go. Arms up. 1, 2, 3. Pulse. 1, 2, 3. And I love to tell my clients it's better to start heavy because you can always go lighter. But how many of us actually go heavier? Very few. Most are like, well, I feel the burn. It's good. When it really needs to be a lot heavier. So keep that in mind. It's okay to start heavy. You're not married to it. You can always change it. If you just can't get through the routine or you can't get through the full time, you're making it stronger by trying that heavier weight. But I think for that last round, I'm going to have to go up a little. I'm going to have to drop it a little bit. It's a little bit heavy. And I know that because I'm starting to feel my elbow. You do not want to feel those elbows. You're feeling your elbow. If it's talking to you, you need to lighten up that weight. So I've dropped it back a little bit. 1, 2, 3. Pulse. 1, 2, 3. Some days I can lift heavier than others. With my lack of food today, I'm sure it's a fuel thing for me today. I just don't have the fuel to lift through that heavier weight. 3, 1, 2, 3. And boy, am I feeling that burn. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Almost there. Stay with me. Smile on your face. You're making that body stronger. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All the way up. Excellent. Oh, tummy's tight. Come on up. Woo! Shake it out. Grab some water if you need it. I'm just going to give those a little stretch because, man, I really felt that burn. That was excellent. All right, we're moving on to a plie. So you can use 1 or 2 weights. I'm going to go ahead and use 2 because I just have my 10s in here. I don't have anything heavier. But you may need only 1, and that's great too. All right, here we go. Whoops. So in a plie, toes are open, nice and wide. It's also called horse pose. 1, 2, 3. Pulse. 1, 2, 3. Push through those heels. Come on up. 1, 2, 3. Pulse. 1, 2, 3. Now, one of the biggest things I find my clients do, or my class participants, is you'll start to bring that knee in toward the body. And it kind of looks like this, if you can see a difference, right? Because they want it to be more like a squat. Your knees to be out, need to be out, following your toes. Oh, it's going to be one of those days. So that when you squat down, you're really feeling it through that inner thigh. 1, 2, 3. And squeeze up. Shake it out. You can also place the weights on your shoulders, or if you have a barbell, it can be placed across your shoulders as well. It's especially helpful if you struggle with leaning forward in this position with the weights down here. You really have to lift up through the chest and kind of lean back slightly just to keep your chest up. I don't want you looking at the floor at all. 1, 2, 3. Knees are open. 1, 2, 3. A lot of this position will be dependent on your flexibility. So just do what you can. Just feel that inner thigh. When you pull up, 1, 2, 3. Pull through your core all the way like a zipper. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, another little break. Whew. All right, we got one more here. Big deep breaths. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Good, keep it going. Knees are open. Belly is tight. You have that slight tuck to that tailbone. I don't want you pushing your booty back, right? We're tucking it under. Trying to get that inner thigh. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Space between your chin and chest. A little smile. Making your body stronger. You should be proud of that. Last one. Pulse and press up. Perfect. All right. Go ahead, flat back, put the weight down. We're going to move back to the bench or the floor. We're going to do a chest fly. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3. Pulse. Bring it back up. Listen to your body. I would normally do probably 10s on these, but I'm going to go down to 8s because I just don't seem to have the strength today. All right. You have a ponytail. I need to loosen it a little bit laying down all this time. Again, these can be done on the floor, no problem. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Pulse. 1, 2, 3. Big exhale. Nice and slow hold in. Pulse, pulse, pulse. Big exhale. When you take those hands together, I want you to think about using the chest muscle to lift those weights. Don't think about using the forearms or the hands, right? It's just nice and relaxed. That grip is nice and relaxed, and you're using the chest muscle. If you don't know what that feels like, just think about making cleavage. Think about tightening that muscle, even if it's just, when you're screwing around and trying to make cleavage. Squeeze those muscles together. 1, 2, 3. Thinking about the muscle that you're working as you work it will give you a better workout. It'll make it more efficient. You're going to work that muscle harder. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Big exhale. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That last one was pathetic. That's why I'm laughing. I wasn't even down as low as I should have been. I was distracted. My leg itched. 1, 2, 3. And I was trying to count all at the same time. My brain can't do that much at once. 1, 2, 3. I usually can't talk and count at the same time, so I'm doing really good today. You can ask my classes. I tend to time everything because if I have to count, forget it. And break. All right, one more time. You can open up those arms to the side, a little stretch if you want. All right, tummy tight, low back into the bench. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. If you feel your elbows at all, please lighten your load. If you still feel them, please stop doing this exercise. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Again. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You're pulling that belly button in, I hope. Trying to get it to meet that spine. 1, 2, 3. Using the chest muscles to bring those arms up and together. 1, 2, 3. Great job. All right, let's go ahead and put that down. Be careful as you come up, moving nice and slow, especially if you're like me. I have low blood pressure, so when I lay down and then come up suddenly, I can get a little dizzy. So listen to your body. I'm going to readjust my ponytail. It's coming out. I'm just impressed I can make a ponytail. It's been a really long time since I had hair long enough to make a ponytail. All righty, all adjusted, ready to go. Grab some water. All right, we have my least favorite one coming up. I'm not going to lie to y'all. We're going to do a lunge. And so you're going to have the weight. The leg stays, never changes this position. Well, the feet don't ever change position. So we're not coming back up to the center is what I mean by that. I want you to lean back, tummy tight. You're going to go 1, 2, 3. Get as close to the floor as you can. Pulse. And then press through the heels and come on up. I'm going to lighten my weight. You may choose to not have weight. You may need to have a wall or a chair right next to you in order to keep that balance. All of that is fine. We are going to be working that calf. So be aware. It's not just your quad. It's going to be your calf. 1, 2, 3, pulse. 1, 2, 3, all the way up. All right, so my tendency is to kind of look and lean forward. I want you to fight that with me. 1, 2, 3, lean back, pulse. Squeeze up. 1, 2, 3, pulse, 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 up. Good. These are tough. These are my least favorite. 1, 2, 3, but they're so good for you. That's why we do them. 1, 2, 3, but boy, do they burn. 1, 2, 3, and up. All right, shake it out. Whew. All right, we're gonna come back into that position. Up on that toe, so you're not pressing that heel down, you're up on that toe. Lean back, 1, 2, 3, pulse, pulse, pulse. You need to get as low as you can. You really want to engage the front of that thigh muscle, that's your quad. We're helping to strengthen that knee. Good, strong leg muscles are important for the health of your knee, among other things. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, pulse, pulse, pulse. 15 seconds left. You got this. Come on. Stay focused. Just breathe. Give me what you can. They should really be on fire. I should say it should be really on fire. 3. Let's just go up and down. Good. Hate to waste all that time, but we didn't have enough for another round. All right, you guys. We can do this. One more. Lean back. Tummy tight. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Pulse, pulse, pulse. If you are not burning, that leg isn't burning, you either need heavier weight or more range of motion or both. Start with more range of motion. If it's still pretty easy, then you add the weight. 1, 2, 3. Leaning back. 1, 2. Press through this front heel to come up. 1, 2, 3. Knee stays behind the toe the whole time. Couple more. Actually, this will be our last full one. Then we're just going to do an up and down again. Good. Oh, man. Shake it out. Grab some water if you need to. That may have gotten that heart rate up just a little bit. Woo. All right, we're going to take a break between legs. So we're going to do some biceps and then go do the left leg, just because you need a little time to forget how much that burned. Okay, so we're moving on to biceps. I am going a little bit lighter on this one. It's just going to be the upper. 1, 2, 3, pulse, 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 come up, okay? So feet hip width, soft knees, tuck your tailbone, tummy tight, lift your heart, roll your shoulders. Halfway, let's go ahead and start all the way up. I lied. 1, 2, 3, pulse. 1, 2, 3, exhale, all the way back to start. 1, 2, 3, pulse, pulse, pulse. Your heart stays lifted as you drop those hands. There should be 0 rounding in the back. You should not be taking your chest down as you drop those hands and then using your back to bring it back up. If you find yourself doing that, your weight is too heavy. If you're not sure if you're doing it, come up against a wall. Make sure your shoulder blades touch the whole time. That will tell you if you're leaning forward. 1, 2, 3, pulse, pulse, pulse. Little break. All right, so you should start to feel the burn in that first round. If you don't, think about going heavier. If you really felt it, like it was really tough, it's too heavy. Find a lighter weight. 3, pulse, pulse, pulse. If you don't have a lighter weight, just do as many as you can with that heavier weight and take more breaks. 1, 2, 3. Just make sure you're working through the burn as long as you can. Chasing that burn is what helps to make that muscle stronger. It helps lean it out, helps you burn more fat. 2, 3. I've never met anybody actually that ever didn't want to burn body fat. 1, 2, 3. Shoulders down. Woo! All right, we got one more. All right, stand tall and proud, chest up, tummy tight, soft knees. 1, 2, 3, pulse. 1, 2, 3. Use that wall if you need to. 1, 2, 3. So many of us that work at computers, you hunch over. If you drive a lot, you hunch over. And so you need to counterbalance that. And one of the best ways to do these bicep curls, if you're worried about your form, is to do them against a wall. Work on those posture muscles. Develop that counter to rounding your back and leaning forward all day. And if you can think about it, when you're at a desk or driving, think about sitting up tall, pulling your shoulder blades back. Think about being proud, pushing your chest out, and exhale, and help prevent some back issues later. All righty, now we have to do that other leg. Grab some water if you need it. Make sure the weight that you're using is the same that you used before. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and take that left back. 1, 2, 3, I'm leaning back, I'm pulsing. 2, 3, pressing up. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You're speeding through these. 1, 2, 3. Not through the move, that's not what I meant. Be more clear, I guess. We are not taking a lot of break between the moves. Trying to get you done and out the door. Pulse. 1, 2, 3. Press. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Not leaning forward. 3, 2, 1, and come on up. Perfect. All right, shake it out. All right, you may also find when you do these, because we're doing them separately, you may see that you have a leg stronger than the other. That does happen. 1, 2, 3. Pulse. 1, 2, 3. The leg that's dominant will tend to be stronger, but you want them pretty close. You don't want a big imbalance in the strength of any part of your body, excuse me. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Tripping over my words. 1, 2, 3. Pulse, 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 press. Remember to have something nearby if balance is an issue. There's nothing wrong with using a chair for balance. Just don't rely on it. Have it there. Work on that mind-body connection. It'll help your mind as well to work on that balance. It's not just for the muscle. But be safe. I never want you working out in a dangerous place, a dangerous condition. Always make yourself safe. All right. Last time. 1, 2, low as you can go. Pulse, 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 and squeeze. 1, 2, 3. Pulse, pulse, pulse. Lift it. 1, 2, 3. You may find that it's a hip maybe that gets you more than the quad. That's fine. You're just working more into that hip. Maybe that hip is just a bit weaker than your quad, or because of your range of motion, your quad isn't getting in as much as the hip. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Pulse. 10 seconds. You guys, we almost got this. Stay with me. Stay leaning back, keeping your chest up. 1, 2, 3. Let's just do an up and down. All right. Weight down. Flat back when you do that, please. We are going to have a seat on the bench, but we are going to use our lighter weights. This one's going to be a rear fly. So we're going to do it from a seated position, making sure that tummy is nice and tight, back is flat. Homicide water. All righty. So here's what it's going to look like. 1, 2, 3. Pulse, pulse, pulse. Slowly back down. You can do this without weight. 1, 2, 3. Pulse, 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 and slowly down. The pulse, you're thinking about taking those shoulder blades and meeting them into the spine, right? I don't want you to think about lifting with the arms. Think about squeezing those shoulder blades right against that spine. Make sure you're using the rhomboids, that muscle, that band of muscle that runs between those shoulder blades. This is like we talked about before. This counters the big chest. It pulls back, lifts your heart. It also counters all that computer work that you do, or if you're on your phone a lot. It really works to strengthen that back muscle so that you don't get that hump as we age. You don't round into that spine. All right, here we go. These are not easy. So if you need to drop the weight, please do. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Pulse, pulse, pulse. Slowly back down. 1, 2, 3. Keep it in control. It's a totally different exercise if you're thinking about using those rhomboids, pulling the shoulder blades into the spine. It could be a lot harder. If that's the case, it's good, right? We want to work it correctly. So just drop the weights or drop into a lighter weight. Pulse, 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 slowly back down. 1, 2, 3, slowly back down. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, slowly back down. Shoulders relax. Okay, so that was pretty tough for me. I can definitely tell I'm weaker today. So I'm going to use the weights as long as I can, but I'm not going to get rid of that form. I want to make sure my form is good. That's more important than holding on to these weights. So 2, 3, when I need to, I'm going to drop the weights in order to salvage my form. Slowly back down. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now, if these are really tough and you don't even have weights in your hands, if you bend the elbows, it will take some pressure off and make it a little easier for you. 1, 2, 3. But I'd rather you drop the weight and keep the arms straight than to do the bent arm with weight. Keep space between your chin and chest. Stay looking at your toes. Woo. Those muscles are shaking. You can kind of round your upper back if you need to stretch it out. Push your chest out, tummy tight. You want your chest as close to parallel to the floor as you can. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I have scoliosis, and this is where the curve in my spine happens, right in between my shoulder blades. So it's a spot I really work hard to keep strong and try to keep it strong equally on each side, because I have one side that tends to take over and pull my spine out of alignment, which, as you can imagine, doesn't feel real great. So this is a muscle I really try to focus on and keep nice and strong. Pulse. And down. Whew, hey, I managed to keep the weights the whole time. That's good. Of course, I may go back in my video and be like, yeah, you should have dropped the weights. That is a kind of a negative to not having a mirror that I can work out with, is if my form goes, sometimes I just can't tell until I review the video. But I do learn, and I do try to remember. Okay, next up, we're going to do a shoulder press. Normally we do shoulder press here, or we've done it here. We're going to come right in the middle of those two spots. Feel free to grab a different weight. I'm going to stick with what I used on those rear delts, because these ones are tough. Your arms are up in this position, and so that blood drains, and it just makes you fatigue so much faster. All right, grab your weight, sit up tall. You can do these standing if you would like. All right, so what we're going to do, start with the arms straight. 1, 2, 3, pulse. 1, 2, 3, all the way up. 1, 2, 3, pulse. 1, 2, 3, all the way up. Now, as you're dropping those shoulders, those elbows down, I want you to think about dropping your shoulder blades, opening up the joint. 1, 2, 3. If there's any popping, any noise, you feel anything weird going on, I want you to bring those elbows closer together. So you're bringing it more into what's called a closed shoulder press. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and just release it down. Woo. You can roll your neck around. I want you to stay tall, belly tight. All right, arms straight up. Here we go. 3 counts down. Your hands are open if you can. It just is kind of to represent that you're not gripping the weight. The forearm isn't doing the work. So a death grip on the weight isn't helpful. 3, pulse. 1, 2, 3. And can actually overdevelop into that forearm. So nice, easy grip. Think about the shoulder doing the work. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, all the way up. And as you come all the way up, I want you to think about kind of pushing your chest out a little bit. And that'll just keep that back nice and flat, and it'll get those arms all the way up. Release it down. Roll your neck if you need to. Relax the shoulders. Remember, we're pushing the shoulder blades down, so you will work the scapular depressors, so you may be feeling the burn in that upper back. 2, 3, all the way up. 1, 2, 3, pulse, pulse, pulse. Good. Shoulders down. Open up that shoulder joint. There's so much going on in that shoulder joint. You want to keep it open. Just think about, like opening your mouth, right? You want to do that for the shoulder. You're trying to open up that joint. So nothing in there jumps over each other, gets tangled up together. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Remember, you're not feeling anything in that shoulder. If you do, start to bring those elbows together. Make it narrow. Good. All right. Roll the shoulders. Woo! Shake it out. That definitely burned. Okay. We're going to use this bench and we're going to push it against the wall. I'm going to move it over to the sidewall so that you can see my form. We're going to come into a bridge with our feet on the bench. If you do not have a bench or a couch or a chair, something you can put your feet on, you can do this bridge on the floor like we normally do with your knees bent, whoop, your back flat. Oh, my sound guy's gonna get mad at me for making a big noise while I was talking. You can also use weight. I'm going to use 1 10-pound weight. And you want to bring your mat, your soft spot, as close to that bench as you can. All right, here we go. So laying down, bringing the feet up, I like to scoot my glutes as close to the wall as I can. Slowly come down. The arches of your feet come onto the edge of your bench. You're just going to take that weight and place it across the hips. You don't have to use weight, but if you're using weight, your hands are on it, supporting the weight so that when you lift your hips, it doesn't come back and hit you in the face. All righty, here we go. It's going to be 3 counts up, pulsing for 3, 1 back down into a hover. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, up as high as you can. Pulse, 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 come down and hover. 1, 2, 3, pulse, 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 hover. 1, 2, 3, pulse, 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 hover. Keep that tummy tight. And down and hover. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, hover. Keep breathing. 1, 2, 3, pulse, pulse, pulse. Hopefully you have some music on that matches this beat. Helps keep you on rhythm. And back down. All right, here you can take a break. You can pull your knees into your chest if you need to stretch it out, making sure those arches are right against the edge of your chair or your bench. Here we go, round 2. Pulse it up. 1, 2, 3. Come on down. Hover if you can. 1, 2, 3. Belly tight. Now we do work the low back here, so don't be surprised if you start to feel that low back. 1, 2, 3. Hover. Belly is nice and tight. You're trying to come up to the shoulders when you lift those hips up. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Try to get that smile. 1, 2, 3. These ones can be really tough. Burns deep into the glutes. Up and down. Little break. All right, you have one more time. If you want to make it more challenging, on that break, you're just doing a hold instead of letting the hips come all the way down. Personally, I'm getting plenty of burn, so I'm going to take that little break and hover. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Remember, you don't have to use the weight. If it's really tough on this 3rd round, just get rid of that weight. Tummy tight. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Hover. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Come up as high as you can. This is when you start to get lazy. Push those hips up as high as you can. You're trying to come up to your shoulders. 1, 2, 3, and down. Woo. All right, move the weight. Maybe just give it a really quick hug. That'll release the low back, kind of stretch through the glutes a little bit. And then we're going to go ahead and come up. We're going to continue on with the biceps. We're going to work just in that lower half. So before we did the upper, now we're just going to do the lower. So same weight as you did for the upper. So mine are 8s. I think. Just had to make sure. Mine's not really working right. Roll the shoulders, tummy tight. All right, 3 counts up. 1, 2, 3. Easy grip. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We only have a few more moves to go, so I want you to stay with me here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. After this one, we're going to do a little bit more shoulder work, and then we'll move on to our abs, and then you'll be done. Pulse. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I plan on eating some protein after this. I'm actually hungry, so that's good. And take a break. All right, feet hip width, soft knees, tuck your tailbone, tummy tight, lift your heart, roll your shoulders, palms forward. 3 counts. 1, 2, 3. Pulse. 1, 2, 3. Slowly back. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Remember, we're only coming up halfway. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Easy grip. 1, 2, 3. That heart stays lifted. 1, 2, 3. Shoulders down. Remember, you can do this against a wall. If you want to make sure that you're keeping that chest up and that you're not pulling forward at all when you drop those weights back to starting position, just come up against a wall. 1, 2, 3. All right, we have one more round. Roll it out, loosen it, kind of come out of your space, shake it out. And then when you're ready, step back up. Find that good body position, tailbones tucked, tummies tight. 3 up, pulse. 1 slowly back. So we're trying to work all phases of movement in control. That's the co-centric and eccentric, which just means the crunch, this part, and then slowly back down, all in control. Working all phases of that muscle will give you a more efficient workout. It's going to affect that muscle in a positive way, which will affect you in a very positive way. 1, 2, 3, slowly back. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Couple more. Yeah, 5 seconds. This is it, actually. 1, 2, 3. Slowly down. Oh. All right. Shake it out. All right, so for this next one, for this side, it's going to be a lateral shoulder raise. It's a 3 count. Pulse, slowly back down. So much like we did with the rear fly, this one you may find that weights just don't work for you, especially after that first round. That's good. Listen to your body. I'm a big advocate of that. I suggest you go lighter than you normally would for a lateral shoulder raise. Here we go. Nice and slow. Pulse. 1, 2, 3. Your feet are hip width apart. You have a soft knee. You're pulling that tummy tight, tucking that tailbone under. You're lifting your heart, space between your chin and chest. Pulse. 1, 2, 3. Slowly back down. And take your time coming down. Maybe you're moving slower than I am. That's fine. Please try not to move faster than I am. 2, 3. Because I really want you to try to get that momentum out of it. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now you know your body. If you're feeling something off, I want you to stop. Maybe drop the weights and try without weights. If it's still feeling strange, I want you to stop completely for me. All right, little break. Shoulder roll. Make sure you're keeping that space between that chin and chest. All right, nice strong base. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Pulse. 1, 2, 3. And it is a relaxed grip. You're just holding on tight enough to hold the weight, but I don't want any death grips. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Slowly back down. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Give me a smile. Good. You're doing so great. You should be proud of yourself. Attending, doing the workout, trying to get stronger. Pulse, 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 and release. Because it's not just physical strength that you gain. It's mental strength that you gain when you work out. I've seen it over and over and over again. If you stick with it, you get mental strength as well. 1, 2, 3. You get more confidence because you know you can do more than you thought you could. Pulse. 1, 2, 3. Slowly back down. Plus, it's feel good. It makes you feel good. It releases those great endorphins. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Slowly back down. I always feel really good. Even if I start in a crappy mood working out, I always feel better afterwards. I'm happier. How that lasts, how long it lasts, really depends. Depends on my children a lot of times, but 2, 3. But I would say I feel better overall all the time when I'm finished working out. And release. Woo! All right, grab some water. We have 2 more exercises to do. They're both for the core, and we are going to use the ball. Of course, you can do these without the ball. I love what the little ball does for the core. To me, it's just a better way to do it. There's a lot less irritation on my low back when I do some of these things. And I feel like I can get deeper into the move because I can tuck that tailbone under and work the transverse abdominis, which is just right underneath that belly button. So I really like to use the little ball. If you don't want to use the little ball or don't have one, you don't have to use it. You can do all this without the little ball. So if you're using the little ball, I want you to tuck it just underneath your glutes. So you're sitting on it, right? It's a picture frame, and it's that little post on the back of the picture frame that keeps you up nice and tall, or keeps the picture up nice and tall. I want you to think of it the same way. You're holding on to the back of your legs, you're lifting your heart, and you're gonna come back until the arms are straight. Here, I want you to release, and then you're going to start in this position. Belly button tight, tuck your tailbone under. It's a little move, it's a very subtle move. Go back for 3, 1, 2, 3. Pulse for 3, 1, 2, 3. Come on up. Back to that beginning position. That tailbone is tucked. Pulse. 1, 2, 3. When you come back up, tuck your tailbone. Just make sure it stays tucked. 1, 2, 3. And you're really going to feel the difference in this move. Tuck that tailbone. 1, 2, 3. Now, maybe it's too much for your arms. That's okay. You don't have to have those arms out. 1, 2, 3. Tuck your tailbone. 1, 2, 3. I like the arms out because it just reminds me to lead with my heart. I don't want any rounding in the back at all. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, so hopefully you're really feeling the difference in that move. Just by tucking that tailbone under, which the ball allows you to do, you really get deep. All right, up tall, all the way back. Release the arms. 1, 2, 3. Pulse. 1, 2, 3. Big exhale. 1, 2, 3. Pulse, pulse, pulse. Up to the top. Check that tailbone. 1, 2, 3. Pulse, pulse, pulse. If you're not quite feeling it, go back further. 1, 2, 3. Just don't let that tailbone come out. Keep it tucked. 1, 2, 3. Shoulders relaxed. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Tailbone. 1, 2, 3. One more time. Pulse. And come up. I like this little reset in between. Helps you to just kind of round the back. Get that out of your system. Up tall. And then reset. Come back. Release. Now from 3 here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I notice that I tend to come up higher every time. 1, 2, 3. Especially those abs as they start to fatigue. Tuck your tailbone. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Shoulders down, lift tall. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. When you lean back, I want you to feel those abs shaking. And you know you're getting deep enough. Tailbone tucked. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Give me one more, real quick. You can do it. 1, 2, 3. Woo, excellent. All right, last one. We are going to lay down onto our back. We're going to use the little ball underneath the low back. Again, if you don't have a little ball, you just do this without the little ball, but everything else is pretty much the same. So if you have a little ball, it's probably safest to come on back down, come up into bridge, and place the little ball underneath that low back. Tummy is nice and tight. It's between your low back and your glutes, so it's not strictly just in the low back. I have it kind of halfway down my glutes, and then the rest is over my low back. So what we're going to do, the hand's going to be on either side. We're going to bring it up into a tabletop position, tucking the tailbone again, tummy tight, right? We're working that transverse. We're going to 1, 2, 3. You're going to pull, pulse, pulse, and then bring everything up. So when you're doing the pulses, it's really just a pelvis tilt, a hip tilt. So once you're down there and holding it, then you're going to just use the pelvis, right, the muscles, to just give me a little tilt, and then we're going to bring those legs back up. This one can be super, super tough. So listen to your body, take extra breaks if you need it. Maybe don't stay with it as long if you're really feeling the burn. So let's get set first. Tummy tight, tuck your tailbone. 1, 2, 3, pulse, pulse, pulse. Now lift everything up with the low abs. Think about the low abs here. Pulse, 1, 2, 3, lift everything up. 1, 2, belly button's tight. 1, 2, 3. So you don't want to push your tummy out. You want to pull those abs in so you're making nice flat muscle. 1, 2, 3, tilt. 1, 2, 3, lift up. Tummy tight, tuck your tailbone. 1, 2, 3, shoulders down, tilt, 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 all the way up. 1, 2, 3, tilt, 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 bring it up. Good, little break, feet down. Maybe roll side to side. I really love a little ball. It's just so nice on my low back. All right, get ready. Tuck your tailbone, tummy tight. 1, 2, 3. Pulse. 1, 2, 3. Tuck that tailbone. 1. Legs drop. Now pulse. Hip, 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 all the way up. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Feeling those abs? 1, 2, 3. I hope so. 1, 2, 3. Should be deep. A deep, deep burn. Pulse. 1, 2, 3. Working on the scaffolding for that midsection, right? Thing that keeps our spine healthy. Helps us when we lift things. 1, 2, 3. Those deep internal muscles. People don't think about working them, but they really are very important for the integrity of your skeletal system. Tuck your tailbone. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. But they're not the show-off muscles, so it doesn't get a lot of notoriety. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Tailbone tuck. 1, 2, 3. Lift. Make sure you're not using your glutes. Use the low ab muscles, the pelvis muscles. 1, 2, 3. Tummy tight, tuck, 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 all the way back up. Belly's tight. Pulse. 1, 2, 3. Give me one more. One more, just because it's our last one. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. All right, feet down. You can remove that ball. It can go off to the side. Just bring your knees in. We're just going to give you a really quick stretch. So if you want a better stretch, I always recommend it. Maybe do a little quick yoga session, or if you have the time, a long yoga session. Belly toward the ceiling. Reach those hands above the head. Reach those feet out. Breathe into your belly. Feel the stretch. Perfect. All right. Let's go ahead and roll to the side. I just want you to grab one foot. Knees together, let your head relax down, push your hips forward, pull your belly in, and feel the stretch through the front of your thigh. And go ahead and release. You can go ahead and roll over onto your other side. I'm going to flip And grab that other leg, knees together, tuck your tailbone, tummy tight, press and hold. And release. Go ahead and press yourself up. We're going to come together with the feet sitting up nice and tall. You're going to bring those feet as close to your body as you can. Grab a hold of those feet, drop those knees, lift your heart, shoulders down, and you can use those hands to pull your chest closer to those thighs, just feeling that inner thigh stretch. And then we're going to take those legs out straight. Reach for those toes, nice flat back. Pull that belly in, push your chest out. If you can't touch your toes, it's not the point. The point is to stretch the hamstrings. So without rounding the back here, this is not what we want. Nice flat back, pushing your chest out until you feel the stretch right back here, that pull. We're going to get that hip, so let's go ahead and bring the right over the left. You're going to pull in with the left, right hand behind, lift your heart, inhale. Exhale, turn and look to the side or behind the shoulder. You're always lifting up, always pulling in, trying to get a little bit more and pulling that leg into the body. You should feel that hip. So hip and spine. Let's switch, other side. Pull, left hand behind, lift your heart. You should be pulling into the leg. So your chest should be touching your left thigh. Perfect. Okay, let's go ahead and come up onto all fours. I want to stretch out the calves, and a great way to stretch out the calves is with downward dog. So nice wide fingers, curl your toes, hips up, and all I want you to do is focus on pushing your heels to the floor. Don't worry about pressing your chest in. If you do yoga and you know how to do a downward dog, then feel free. If you cannot get into a downward dog due to maybe something in your wrist or shoulder, just press back here, pushing back with those heels. I really want you to focus on just stretching out the calves. Couple more breaths. All right, go ahead and bend your knees if you're in downward dog. You're going to walk your hands towards your feet, coming into a little squat, and then just straighten those legs and come into a forward fold. If you're in a different position, just find your way into forward fold. Just reaching toward the floor. Your hands do not have to touch the floor. They can be on your body. Maybe they're even on your bench. You're thinking about dropping your chest towards your thighs, feeling the stretch in the back of the leg. This is also stretching out the low back as well. All right, we're going to bend those knees. Your hands are going to come to your thighs, and I want you to tuck your tailbone and just roll up, stretching through the spine. At the top, it's a shoulder roll. You're going to take that right arm out, draw it across your body, drop that shoulder down, lifting your heart. Breathe. Let's go ahead and switch to that other side. Shoulder drops. Breathe. And then we're going to take that arm behind us. So left arm behind, you're trying to reach to the center of your back, space between your chin and chest. Use that right hand to help pull that shoulder or that elbow back. Feeling the stretch through the front as well as through the shoulder probably. And just switching sides. Space between your chin and chest, tuck your tailbone, tummy tight. Staying tall in the chest. Hands come back behind, interlace, squeeze your blades, lift your heart. Arms off the body if you can. Pressing out with the chest, getting that chest stretch. And now we got to stretch that other side, so interlace, inside out, press and round if you can, shoulders down, tummies tight, reaching out as you're leaning back. Now we're going to take it to the right, reaching to the right, keep those hips where they were, it's just the upper body that moves. Feeling that now hit your lat. Let's go ahead and switch the other side. Should feel good. And back to the center, all the way up, shoulder blades down, reach up, stretching out through the wrists. And release. You're going to take those palms together. You're going to bring it in front. I want you to take your fingertips away and walk them out. This is an inhale. On the exhale, you're going to squeeze back as you drop the hands toward the floor. When you feel the biceps, I want you to hold. Lift your heart. And release it down. Perfect. Give me a nice big inhale up. Exhale, drop. One more time. Inhale up. And exhale. All right, congratulations. You did good work today. I'm very proud of you for showing up and giving me your best. Please let me know if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer what I can. I'd love to continue to bring you these videos, so hit subscribe and like. I want you to have a great rest of the day, and I will see you next time.